Have you ever looked at a raw, totally unfiltered stream of consciousness text and just wondered, how do I even begin to unpack this? Well, today, we're going to do exactly that. Welcome to this explainer where we're diving deep into the chaotic, profound, and honestly fascinating monologue of Bananda Das. We're looking at a highly surreal transcript called Sexy Lady of My Life. Now, at first glance, it reads like this rapid-fire sequence of unlinked images, covert missions, and out-of-nowhere cosmic declarations. But, as you'll see, when we actually organize the chaos, a surprisingly deliberate hero's journey emerges right in front of us.
We're breaking this down into 5 key phases: the dream awakening, the top-secret mission, the cosmic connection, the trance state, and finally, the eternal chorus. Let's get right into it.
Phase 1, the dream awakening. From sleep to action. Let's look at the catalyst for this whole thing. Okay, notice how this timeline starts. The narrator is in a completely passive state, right? They're sleeping and in dreams, just kind of watching images float by. It's a state of total vulnerability. But then, there's this vital psychological shift. We get this external pressure coming in as noted suggestions. These aren't just random fleeting thoughts. They act as these powerful catalysts that literally jolt the speaker out of paralysis. It's a demand for immediate movement that propels them straight to the final stage of this awakening, where they drop the passivity and adopt this brand new hyperactive identity, the rescuer.
Now, what makes this transition so intense is this sudden hit of extreme external pressure. By becoming the rescuer, the speaker is just violently pulled from the quiet isolation of their own mind. The text explicitly says there are many observers. The stakes have instantly jumped from a solitary dream to this highly scrutinized operation where you absolutely must take action. Actually, think about the psychological weight of that for a second. Imagine the paranoia or maybe the immense responsibility of knowing that suddenly you've got an audience watching your every move, just waiting to see if you're going to step up to the plate.
Moving right along to Phase 2, the top secret mission, tests, and triumphs. The narrative takes a wild turn here.
The text elevates the dream into this rigorous spiritual trial. It says, "It's a top secret case. The information is hidden. After a series of tests, my soul has risen." So the speaker isn't just stumbling blindly through a fantasy world anymore. They are actively navigating this deliberate, hidden architecture. You know how we often frame our own life struggles as tests we have to pass? The author is doing exactly that, but using straight-up espionage terminology like top secret and hidden information to describe an internal spiritual journey. And the prize isn't physical. The tests were passed and the soul has risen.
And they don't just frame this as a one-off win. It's described as a blueprint for success coded right into their DNA. It's such a fascinating juxtaposition. On one hand, succeeding means navigating countless games, and this ability is coded deep in my hereditary. It's like a genetic destiny they were literally born to fulfill. But here's the kicker. This highly secret, genetically mandated mission is ultimately driven by a totally outward, altruistic motive, a love for humanity. The personal ascension doesn't mean anything if it's not serving the greater good.
Phase 3, the cosmic connection, meeting the Queen. Let's find out who the speaker is fighting so hard to reach.
The subject just completely transforms from a mere image into the sovereign of the universe. One in many, she's the queen of galaxy. The scale here just explodes. We're no longer talking about some earthly romance. This is a cosmic destiny. And meeting her isn't just some casual wish. It's declared as the speaker's ultimate, singular ambition. Notice the visceral, physical reaction at the end of the quote. "My heart is beating with satisfaction." This deep spiritual journey is causing a literal, physiological response. The mission is absolutely working.
So how do you even make that kind of connection? The speaker uses a super deliberate two-step method to cross the void, which, by the way, is incredibly structured for something that started as a chaotic dream. Step 1. Tune in to her vibrations. This tells us the divine signal is already out there. The speaker just has to dial in their own frequency to catch it. Step 2. Concentrate mind with attention. That's crucial. Making this cosmic connection is not some passive act of grace. It is a relentless, active pursuit that requires absolute mental focus.
Which brings us to Phase 4, the trance state, duality of existence. Let's look at the physical and spiritual effects of this connection.
This is where reality and imagination just completely collapse into each other. That's the core of the trance state. On one side, we've got making love when I'm awake, dragging this visceral, emotional connection right into the physical world. And on the flip side, we have fantasies in my dream. I mean, how often do our own daydreams kind of bleed into our waking lives? The text is showing us a reality where those boundaries have totally dissolved. For the narrator, the difference between what's actually happening and what's being imagined just doesn't matter anymore.
And it all converges into this single hypnotic mood. The speaker literally calls it out. I'm in a trance. This isn't just zoning out, right? It's a synthesis of everything they've done so far. It's fueled by a love that's divine, tying right back to our Queen of the Galaxy, and a life that's full of aspirations, perfectly summing up those top secret tests and ambitions we talked about. The everyday, mundane world is just gone, leaving only this intensely heightened state of awareness.
And finally, Phase 5, the eternal chorus, the anchor. Let's look at the motif that ties this whole surreal text together.
This right here is the core mantra. It is the deeply passionate, emotional anchor in the middle of this totally wild, shifting dreamscape we just traveled through. Think of it as the grounding heartbeat of the text. Whenever the narrator starts to drift a little too far into top-secret espionage, or hereditary blueprints, or galactic ambitions, they always come right back to this exact primal thought. The voice of a lady, her image is in my eyes. She loved me, I loved her. She is the sexy lady of my life.
The structural weight of this mantra is absolutely massive. It acts as a definitive loop, repeating exactly 5 times in this incredibly short text. In a narrative that goes from vulnerable sleeping to intense cosmic trances at literal breakneck speed, repetition is an incredibly powerful tool. It anchors a chaotic mind. Repeating this 5 times is the rhythmic glue that keeps the whole thing from just flying apart into the cosmos.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this to chew on. We've seen the evidence, the sudden awakening, the covert tests, the pursuit of the cosmic queen, the deep trance. So what should we take away from all this intense devotion? Here is the real question of perspective. Does this relentless, 5-fold repetition trap the speaker in a psychological loop they can't ever escape? Or is this precise repetition the ultimate, grounding chant of a soul that has successfully risen to meet its cosmic destiny? I'll let you be the judge of that.